Yo, what is
Hey,
up, everybody? This is the 6 Degrees of Esports. My name's Casey.
hey guys, my name's Rob. Welcome to the show. This is the start. This is where it all begins. What's today? May
Yeah,
26th, 2021. How you doing today, Casey?
yeah, I'm doing great, Rob. Just first episode, super excited about being able to talk about esports, the competitive side of esports, but then other things around that also. So I'm really looking forward to just diving right in and getting after it.
Yeah, I mean, 6 Degrees of Esports, that's what's going to be all about. We're going to talk about esports. We're going to talk about things that touch esports and just the world as it all connects, you know? So thanks for being here. Let's kick it off straight away. I want to talk about one of the things that popped up this past week, and that was a big change to one of the major titles out there, Overwatch and Overwatch 2 in general. Overwatch in general and Overwatch 2 as they're prepping for next year. They made a major announcement, Casey. They said, you know what we're going to do with our competitive scene or the game in general is we're going to take it to a 5v5 instead of a 6v6 format.
Yeah, that's right, Rob.
Initial thoughts.
Yeah, pretty big change with going from that 6v6 format that it's been for it's 5 years now. I saw on Twitter the other day Overwatch is 5 years old. I can't believe it. But it's such an incredible game. The community has dwindled down a little bit because of that 6v6 format. So being able to change it up like this, making it into a 5v5, definitely you have to come in with a different mindset. It's almost like playing a brand new game now, and being able to have those different comps. I think what I was seeing a lot of online and through different articles that I was reading, they're really trying to do away with that tank meta, and
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to just have the standard like two DPS, two supports, and one tank out there. Which I mean, for me, I was a tank main when I used to play Overwatch. I'm not sure about you, but I loved playing Reinhardt, Zarya, Orisa, just basically getting into that front line, having that shield, and just eating up damage, allowing my teammates to do work around me. But now it's like you don't have somebody to protect your back because you're the only one protecting everybody else's back now. So I don't know how I feel about it too much.
Yeah, so I mean, Overwatch itself started off real hot out the gate as a time when BRs were growing in popularity, right? It's like, you know, PUBG, and then they just threw in this new arena mode. It was super sleek. The gun skills look great. Um, the animations and the graphics were pretty. Had great FPS and a lot. Let's just take it back a little bit. Like streamers were playing it, right? Content creators were making content about it. It was not a franchise mode yet or franchise league yet. So there's tons of different organizations being in the game. They had a challenger circuit. You know, there's a lot of hype around the future of the game. And so one of their first changes, because originally, remember, you could play mirror compositions, you could play multiples of characters. Like it was pretty funky when the game
Yeah.
first came out. Like you could do a lot. It kind of gave creativity to teams to do what they wanted. But as the game moved forward, there were constraints. First, it was what was the first thing they did? They brought in where you couldn't have multiples,
Yeah.
and then from multiples, it became okay. Well, now we're gonna lock, you know, 2-2-2. So you have two support, two DPS, two tank. And then I think that's where the meta became more and more stale because you got into, as you mentioned, the GOATS meta, all tanks and all
Yeah.
supports. That's where things really seem to hit a gridlock. Yeah, tell me about like that time of the game. Like, did you play during that time?
Yeah, I mean, I played during. I think the reference that you made where you could have multiples. I missed that portion. I joined in like just after it because I think that was still in alpha when that was happening. I was able to have the pleasure of playing this game when it was in beta, and it was just so fun just being able to go out and like I don't know. It was a different game besides the battle royale because I remember at the time It was H1Z1 was still the popular battle royale. The Fortnite hadn't even hit the scene yet. So
Mhm.
being able to just have this different style of game was really exciting. But once it kind of kept going, 2 years in, you add a few different characters, and it obviously the meta is going to change whenever you add a new character in. Because I mean, with every game, everybody knows that once you add a new character, that new character is broken. Just think about League of Legends. They add new characters in every like couple of months. And that new character is always just busted for like at least a
And
month
it
and a
gets
half.
attention, right?
Yeah,
That's
because
one of the
people
points
like
they do it. I feel
yeah,
like is we gotta gain some social media. We gotta get trending.
yeah, exactly. But Overwatch was no exception to that rule.
Mhm.
I remember them adding in just a different support character, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name right. But she was just completely busted. She was the
Brigitte.
epitome of ghosts.
Oh no, that was much farther back, wasn't it? Or was it Brigitte?
No, it was Brigitte. Yeah,
Hey,
like she started goats, and
got it.
it
Yeah.
was just yeah, like the extra shield and then healing, and then basically she was a DPS, support, and tank all in one character, just because of the damage that she was able to output with her stun whip, and then yeah, it just wasn't fair. But for what Overwatch was able to bring to the table, it still was something that like you could deal with, you know. But after years of basically doing that over and over again, this is definitely time for a change. I think it's a good change.
Yeah, absolutely. It's necessary, and they really need to do something that was shocking to the system, right? They got to do something that really will shake up their game, but also bring that curiosity to the player base that was there before and people that haven't played the game. Like,
Yeah,
how different is it going to feel? How freeing is it going to feel to like? In my mind, I see, a lot of DPS players stepping up, playing something that dives
yeah,
the back line, a lot of Genji, a lot of free feeling, like free form kind of attacks, because you're only gonna have one tank to protect you. And are you gonna choose the shield? Or are you gonna choose like a diva? Are you gonna have the matrix blocking projectiles? Like, how is that gonna affect the compositions? Now they've talked about kind of boosting each tank, giving tanks a little more health, divas, matrix, giving it more juice, not just like more missiles so she can kill everyone, but having a double fire strike to Reinhardt. Like, do you see that being enough? As far as like tanks are is everything else going to be running around them the whole time as they're just kind of 360 head on a swivel, like trying to protect everything?
yeah. It'll definitely on certain situations be be better. Like the double bubbles for Zarya. Like one bubble, I believe it only got you up to I think it was 40% charge. So at most, if you're able to get max charge between your allied bubble and your self bubble, you would only get to 80% charge. So if they keep that number and you're still able to get like now 80% charge just from your allies, and then you get that 100% charge from getting attacked by yourself, like she's going to be very strong in the beginning. And I don't exactly remember the numbers on the fire strikes, but I believe it was like 30 damage or something, which is pretty significant when you're a little squishy and you only have about 200 health. And if you
Mm-hmm.
get hit by two of those, that's half your health almost. So I think some of these changes will be for the good, but it's definitely like they're leaning towards more of a DPS, like fast paced game,
Mm-hmm.
which I was reading in that article that they're trying to go 5v5 to make it easier for the viewership, but if you're making these other changes where now, yes, there's one less player on the map, or I should say two less players on the map, but you're having them die quicker because you're just adding in more DPS capability. Does it really make it easier for the viewership? Because like I just turned my head for a second and then half their team's
Who are they gonna
gone.
follow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In
So
a
it's
fight,
like,
instead of setting up on the top of a choke point and having two shields and they're all just kind of throwing things at each other, I feel like
so
everyone's gonna be diving down everyone's throat.
I mean, yeah. So I think there's definitely positives to take out of it. I always try to look at the positive side of things, but I want to see it in action as well. Like I'm hoping that, because some of the maps in Overwatch were massive,
Mm-hmm.
especially like the payload maps. They're huge, and like it was fine 6v6 because you had so much room to spread out. But now you take a character away, then are you gonna keep those same maps, and are they gonna try to shrink them down a little bit as well? Well,
You might have to redesign the point of interest. There
yeah.
might have to be more of like a point of interest, and then like kind of like a corridor, or like a way to flow the next point of interest. It might be too big, as you kind of mentioned. Like, I mean, that could definitely be a thing.
What other games do you think could use like a fresh set of paint, basically, almost? Because I don't think we're going to be reinventing the wheel here with Overwatch, but it's definitely a different coat. Do you have any other games that you think could use that same concept?
Hmm. I mean, games where I want to see new developments and new kind of like new game modes, maybe. I mean, franchises like probably like Halo. I could see Halo coming a different direction with a new game mode. Um, I'm just thinking of arena style, shooters. Because the BRs themselves are in a different category. I feel like they can always
Yeah.
be improving, and they're always changing their maps, and they're huge all over the place. Yeah, I'd like to see Halo make some sort of significant changes, and when they come through with Infinite this year, like I'm more than ready for them to drop a BR on everyone, but then also have an incredible arena shooter. But that always has a huge hype to it in the beginning, and it kind of dies down.
Yeah.
Similar to Call of Duty every year. I mean, it has an initial burst. It has this like speed run aspect to it, and then it kind of fizzles out. It's been doing better in the last couple of years with their release of a battle royale. So I'm kind of hoping games that have arena style games will drop a BR in there for everyone else, because it brings in both audiences. There's two major audiences in that competitive scene, and they go there's a traditionally like arena style that was the only way, and then once BR came in, people were like, oh, I like that style better. I think I'll just stick with that, and if a game comes out with a BR, I'll try it. So I think you gotta capture both audiences at this point in development.
Yeah, I totally agree there. Like, mentioning Halo, I said this to a friend a few years ago when it was rumored that they were going to be releasing it at the end of the year. It was like 2018 or something like that, and they're going to release the new Halo at the end of the year. And then they kept pushing it back, kept pushing it back. But I said to them at the end of the year, I would rather wait and make sure they have a game that is just so flipping good. Like
Yeah.
it is the next game for the next 5 to 10 years, whatever it is. But I don't want them to give me something too early and have it be terrible. Because I remember growing up playing Halo 2, Halo 3, ODS, like all really good games. And then,
Very good games, very good stories.
yeah, and then right shortly after that, it just started to suck because they wanted to release a game basically every year,
It,
and Yeah.
There's a lot of
Eh,
constraints that hold back development when you're releasing a game every year. Even if you're
yeah.
flipping studio to studio, like
Like Call of Duty.
Activision, Treyarch try to do. Um,
Yeah.
there's lots of bugs. There's lots of inconsistencies with gameplay. It can be a real hassle for their communities too, for their competitive players. They have to switch from like. I love that mechanics develop and they throw in new stuff, but sometimes it's so different. The movement's so different that you're really getting an inconsistency in
Yeah.
professionals too, because they know they grind one way for 1 year and then everything changes. Like everything changes, maps change, mechanics change. It's a little too much sometimes, and that's what I always kind of liked about Halo is they slowly developed mechanics game to game. Like they maybe add in a few things. Like I know a lot of people didn't like it when it finally came to it, but like Halo 5 had thruster packs and it had grabbing ledges to boost up on the stuff, and it had I forgot what it was called, but like the power punch where you're hovering in the air and you
Yeah.
come down, knock someone out. I loved all those changes. I think they added an extra layer to what Halo was. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I think it's necessary to make those changes and develop the game itself and have it become more layered and layered as the game progresses, just to make it a higher skill ceiling, but also like to kind of increase the skill that it takes to play the game too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point that you bring up there though. Like for some content creators, like if you have a game that doesn't have that high skill ceiling and it's just like it's a whatever kind of game, like they didn't really need to put that much effort into it. Or somebody that's not really that skilled at the game can also be good at the game just because it's easy. Like it makes those content creators not want to play your game, and they'll just go find that like the challenge somewhere else, and in turn your game's not going to get the recognition or the, like, I guess free advertisement you could say on Twitch, because those streamers they're going to play it one time because you paid them to, and they'll never play it again.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's that pop of it's that advertising pop that gets people in and shows it to them. But when those people don't continue to play the game, usually their audience goes with them.
yeah, it's definitely frustrating. Like I love seeing those new games when the hashtag ads come on from different major streamers. But at the same time, like I would rather have them just play something that they love to play than like play a game that I know they're just not having a good time, and they're just there because they thought it would be a good idea to play the game, and then they end up just not liking it because it's just the producers of the game just didn't want to like put in that extra effort, which I don't want to badmouth anybody. I'm not trying to create a podcast. This is our first episode, by the way. To
Coming
bash
out hot,
people.
coming out
Yeah.
hot. I want to take you finish your thought, but I want to take you back to.
Yeah.
I know we got off subject
topic a little bit.
but I do have something that pertains to all the games we talked about. So did you want to finish your thought before?
No. I just wanted to say, like, I don't want to like badmouth anybody because like that's not who I am. But I just want producers and companies to take their time when it comes to making games. Like, don't put a game out there that needed like another like 6 months before it was released because like the either like your boss is pressuring you or the community is pressuring you, but you need that extra time to make the game better. Like don't put trash out there. Like
When the money
don't
runs
put
out, the money runs out, and sometimes that happens.
yeah,
Sometimes
like,
that happens too.
I get that. Yeah.
So what I wanted to pull back to was kind of like, there's 5v5 coming out. There's new Halo coming out, and it could have a BR, it could not. But we're, it's the best one we've ever worked on, blah blah blah. And then it comes out, and and that's kind of what you get. And you don't hear from anyone for a little bit from that developer side. And what I'm getting to here is roadmaps, showing the community that you have a plan for at least the next year. Like you have things in the works. You're going to be releasing content. And my two, I guess, favorite people that are favorite developers that are showing those roadmaps were about, and they still do it to this day, but Rainbow Six Siege. Every Six Invitational, they'll put out a roadmap for the next year. They'll say like, we're reworking this map because of this community feedback. We're putting out 2 characters every month, or not every month. Every 3 months, we'll be putting out 2 characters. We'll be reworking this map. We'll be introducing a new map. We'll be reworking a character. That kind of roadmap. And I know that's something that I feel like Overwatch fell away from when they're trying to fix some of these things early on. Was I think they fell away from putting out a new character. Like I think they had a long stretch where they didn't put out a new character, and I feel like, or they put out a map but they didn't put out a character for a long time. I feel like that's the kind of thing that I want to see when they come back with this, is like if they're gonna go hard into this, like changing everything for Overwatch 2, I want to see a roadmap of like, we plan to put out 8 to 10 characters, this year, 6 characters, something like that. Once every 2 months, we're going to change up the meta by introducing this. And that's what I want to see when, on the other side, when Halo comes out. I want to see, we have a plan to put in this competitive map coming up, or we plan to add in a new weapon. Like that'd be kind of cool. I'd love to see new weapons pop up.
Yeah.
That you don't expect. Could change the game.
Obviously, like with Halo, it's tough because like you have the tried and true weapons that people want. You want the assault rifle and the sniper and those shotguns and everything. But yeah, bringing something new out, that would be exciting for sure.
Don't give me armor shields. That's all I ask. Don't make me punch the ground, make me invulnerable for 4 or 5 seconds. That can never happen again. We can't forget that. No one is to be invulnerable for 4 to 5 seconds for no reason. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So we had anything else on that from you, from us? Any other thoughts surrounding, swirling around in your head?
Yeah, just one thing, like with that roadmap that you're mentioning, I think we'll get a lot of that with Jeff Kaplan and like the Overwatch community, because like he, at least from what I remember when I
Jeff left
used to play. So come again?
Jeff left the company.
No shot, bro.
I don't think you did your research on this one.
No, I didn't, because I was looking at this and it was just like,
I'm going to let you take a second to just digest this, as with anyone else that's listening that has not got the breaking news from weeks ago.
Yeah, weeks ago. Now I see.
In fact, let me pull up a little Google, and 1 month ago.
Yeah, sounds
officially.
Good. So okay. I'm just gonna finish my thought.
Sure. Yeah.
As if he was still there.
I want to.
I really appreciated Jeff Kaplan's breakdown of the different changes that they, because I don't remember if it was every patch or if it was just like once a season, but he would just basically talk about what their goals were and what they planned on doing and why they were planning on doing it, and it would be like a 30-minute video. And for me, I didn't watch the whole video. I would watch like the first 10 minutes of it maybe, but I appreciated that. So I hope that somebody is able to take that role coming into Overwatch 2. God, dude, are you freaking kidding me? Why?
No, actually, I just secretly, I went on the internet and I just started planting all these things everywhere just to make you look like a fool. I'm just kidding.
No,
No, but the person that steps into that role, they'll I'm sure they're gonna find that forward-facing, community-facing person, that puts as much into the game as he did, and as much, as much work, dedication, pride. Like you could tell it's all there when he's talking about it from past interviews and past project updates. Yeah, that's actually a very important part. Is like they're going to need that person to be as community facing as he was. So
it helped me feel like he cared about the community.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes I'm sure the community still felt like Jeff didn't care, it felt like he at least tried. You know, that's as a gamer, that's all you can really ask for. Is somebody a producer actually caring.
Right.
Yeah.
In the spirit of Jeff. Thanks, bro. Fun little side topic. They might be making a tribute map to Jeff. I don't know if this is going to be like a statue of him, or what's going on with that.
When you mentioned that he wasn't there, I quickly pulled him up as well. It looked like it's just going to be like a pizza corner, and then some like coffee, like cups around with like Jeff's name written on the coffee cup. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it's going to be a whole map of a tribute to Jeff and it's just Easter eggs throughout it, then I mean, hey, that's cool too. But at least that article made it seem like it was just going to be like a building in a map and then like some coffee cups potentially throughout.
Yeah, a little tribute, a little thank you.
Yeah. Well, Overwatch. It'll be a different game, but hopefully better for the community, for sure.
Right.
So one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and this happened, it was like a month ago, but I still thought it's like your bonehead story of the right. A player in an Apex Legends tournament decided he needed to use the bathroom middle of the game, which, I mean, I'm not sure if much of our community here has watched any Apex Legends tournaments, but no offense, half the time you are hiding in a corner anyway.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
First 3 circles of the game, people are hiding in as many buildings and corners as they can.
Which, like, maybe like this was towards the end of the game. Hopefully, it was not, and it was towards the beginning of the game or something. But this gentleman decided to use the bathroom and asked his girlfriend to fill in for him, so he doesn't be kicked for AFK. Realistically, you could just have your teammates punch you around and move your character, but
did they specify if this was a number 2 or number 1 situation?
If realistically you need somebody else to take over for you, it's probably a number 2. I don't really see here in the article if they were able to get that detail of what happened while he was on the head, but if you need somebody else to take over for you, like, are you peeing for 5 minutes?
I mean, if you're drinking a gallon of water a day, like you should be, drink your water, hydrate, everyone. This is a hydration break brought to you by Apex Legends. Thank you.
Hashtag not an
yeah, if you're going to the bathroom, you drink a gallon of water, sure, a day. Yeah, that's going to take a minute. But is this how big is your house? How far are you running across your house to go to the bathroom? Is your toilet maintenance? Is there maintenance issues? I feel like there could be some flags thrown on the play for this, but I'm guessing it's a number 2 situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that maybe he's in a pretty decent sized house. He has to go down to the 2nd floor, and he's on the 3rd floor, whatever it might be. Like, he's in a mansion. He's got to run to the other side of the building. I don't freaking.
At that point, I want another computer in there where he can like log off and then log on the toilet. But either way,
I'm not sure why I didn't already have that. But
I think the moral of the story here is Apex Legends isn't that fast-paced moving of a game to where you couldn't just sit in I think they actually have a toilet in several of the buildings. Just sit on the little toilet in a very confined little space. Like you get a grenade in there, you can often hide in that toilet to, get away from that grenade. You could have just sat in there for probably 3-4 minutes, got punched around a little bit, and been back with no penalty. So obviously he was probably live streaming this, I'm guessing, since people knew that his girlfriend had taken over, right? So
that's exactly how he got found out. You could see his girlfriend coming onto the screen to take over. She later gets up on the chair, up from the chair, and lets his character die. So I guess he was maybe like close to the storm's edge, but still, like,
did he move then, or did it move, or did it not? Did the character move or not move while she's out there?
That is not specific within this article, but I guess it's just like the perception of her playing for him is what got this player disqualified from the tournament. Like, as a teammate, how would you feel if, like, you're in a tournament and that's your teammate? Like,
that teammate is pooping, is in the bathroom, mandatory 10 minutes before each game. Each series. Sorry.
Yeah, each future game.
Not every game. I'm not gonna make you go to the toilet, but everyone's gonna clear their bowels. I'm sending them fiber, and they're gonna be ready. I feel like that's never gonna happen again. But everyone eats 2 hours before the game. Like in regular sports, you get together with your team, you eat some food. That way you can clear everything out before the game, and no one has to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, the funny thing though is, even with that disqualification, his team is still one of the top teams in the Apex Legend tournaments. So they have, I think it's. They're still second in points overall, at least as of a month ago. They're second to T1's South Korean team, but still, that is your bonehead story of the day.
I think he'll probably think twice next time and prepare a little bit.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
yeah, that's all for our first episode.
Is that one in the bag?
That is, one in the bag.
I had a great time. Casey, thanks.
There's no bag there.
Thanks for being here. Hey, if you're scrolling back to this after we make a few episodes for the first time, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming back. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for reliving these first days with us. But yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for enjoying this first one, and we hope to bring you some fun, interesting topics. Follow the socials when we have them up, and we'll probably fill you on those socials next time.
Yeah, I mean, socials you can look out for. It's going to be Twitter, TikTok. We're going to be hanging out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, but we'll fill you in with everything on our next podcast. Looking forward to talking about esports viewership, gambling, brewing. Gonna bring some more fun topics up in the future. Maybe some FBI as well. Knock, knock. Don't get swatted.
Had to check for a second. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.
We're out.